It's WG, bring you SMB, and welcome to another day in Night at the Hunt. So, Night at the Hunt Challenge 3 is here. It is a speed run challenge, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about buffs, replacements, units, everything else you might need to know. And once again, very important for this one, keep in mind you can play all challenges on Saturday and Sunday. And also it's about your average score between all 5 challenges. So even if you perform worse in another, if you perform above average in the other ones, you still get a better ranking. But now that we have that out of the way, let's quickly talk buffs. Buffs, there's technically 4 viable ones, but realistically, if you want a faster time, you need to bring the Oath of Torment. When the battle begins, gain 5 blood souls. If you cannot kill within 25 to 30 seconds, you can swap this one out and use another buff instead. But if you want to go below like the 25 to, 10-second mark, this is what you need to bring. Then for the second buff alongside of it, Unfettered Rage is the one that you need if you want to be the speediest, if you have the heroes to make it work. Unfettered Rage gets you there the fastest, while Primal Roar helps out the longer the fight takes, because every basic attack gives you crit rate and crit damage, as well as crit hit rate for Timeless Iona. So Primal Roar would be second best, and then Whetted Blade, it's going to be harder to use, but if you don't have a Fleeting Bella, this one is a godsend. If you don't have a Fleeting Bella, use Whetted Blade instead. So those are the buffs. The buffs we'll be going with are the Blood Soul one and the blue one. So let's go into the fight and let's talk about timings, and I give you all the specifics you need to know to succeed. So let's have a look. The boss, it doesn't really make a lot of a difference of what the boss does. Boss like summons X, runs around, but it's all about damage. And the way you do that is by us, for example, bringing a team looking like this. So we have a Van Helsing, we have ourselves a Cyrene, we have ourselves a Nicole. I'll obviously explain some more, and then we have Timeless Iona and Fleeting Bella. So first off, Fleeting Bella, we talked about it. If you want to replace Fleeting Bella, make sure you take the Whetstone buff, right? Otherwise, it's going to be hard to replace the 45% damage dealt plus major attack speed up buff. But if you don't have you just replace her with a cheap low moon. So we're talking like 3 cost, preferably 4 cost. Is going to get a bit iffy if you want to make it fast. Next up, these 2 units, Van Helsing and Cyrene, are pretty irrelevant. You could use whatever you have, and that is because for the most part, it's just going to be TIA Iona one-man show. And these units will barely do any significant amount of damage. But popular units for like these 2 spots right here would be Gilrain, Van Helsing, Cyrene, Transcendent Hearty, maybe Lorelei, Augustine. Like just units. You could even try Lamine, but these 4 like work the best, or like these 3, as in Cyrene, Van Helsing plus Gilrain. If you want to go for someone specific, go for someone that preferably starts off already strong, so no one that scales over time. And preferably someone like, you could even run Spectral Gilrain, because Spectral Gilrain obviously dashes in, deals damage, summons a Shadow Apparition, and then it inherits base attributes, etc. Okay, now let's talk about the most important artifact right here, and that is the difference between you being legit 6 to 7 seconds faster, depending on what it is. But for me personally, I have no chance beating neither the 1 nor the number 2 guy, and that's not because I'm stupid. That is because they have a different artifact. So what they have instead of what most of us have is level 5 Eye of Truth. What they have is a level 5 Silver Shadow Chronometer. And what that allows them to do is get a summon through, let's say, Bella, Clive, whoever. And that summon is going to give them 1 Blood Soul. That 1 Blood Soul translates to every single rotation we are about to do being 2 seconds faster, yielding them between like 2 to 4 seconds faster clear time, which means he won't be able to be beat besides someone with a Silver Shadow Chronometer, right? It's just artifact advantage, but this is what I mentioned earlier. Keep in mind, if you don't have the artifact, they also don't have Eye of Truth level 5. So they will be at a disadvantage for the other 4 challenges, while you are at a disadvantage for just a single one of them. But yeah, if you have a Silver Shadow Chronometer level 5 for whatever reason, hey, good on you. So, let's talk about the important ones right here, which is Nicole. So, for Nicole, the only reason why we're running Nicole is because she is 2 cost. Nicole is a 2 cost unit, So she'll be able to get us into the Blood Moon quicker, which means we have higher Blood Moon uptime during Tia Iona's ultimate, which means we just deal more damage and we do it quicker. So if you have a Nicole, she's the most optimal to be used. But if your damage isn't enough to like kill it super quick, Gilrain costs 1 more, but he also does more damage through he himself. You can also just give him the artifact, the basic attack artifact, and then with his ultimate he deals a bit more damage. So if it's lacking damage, you can use a Gilrain instead. And now for the last slot right here, you can already see we're running Otavia, and that is, if you can't kill it in sub 13 seconds, then you're going to want to use another person's ultimate because you'll have enough cost anyway. And getting Otavia is like the perfect solution. You could also try someone like a Thibault, but Otavia is a must run. You could almost say if you can't make it below 12 seconds, because for us, for example, if we get our fastest run, which does take something, we won't even be able to trigger our ult, but triggering Otavia definitely helps you, especially if you don't get anything like sub 15. So now that we have our 5 units on the way, let's talk about how this fight works. So in this fight, we're going to be utilizing 2 things. Number 1, pay attention to Timeless Iona's passive, which gives her a shield. And number 2, make sure you use the auto system. So for example, if you're on PC, you can just hit the A button to enable auto, or you just click it with your cursor, or you click it with your finger, because auto will be faster in doing the ults than we will be, which is why the ult order goes Iona, Fleeting Bella, and then Nicole. Important though, do not start the fight in auto, and that is because you need to wait for Timeless Iona's passive. So Timeless Iona's passive at the start of the battle gives yourself a shield. Due to us already having 5 blood souls at the beginning of the fight, you could be tempted to instantly use Timeless Iona's ult, and what that actually ends up doing is stopping her passive from triggering. It interrupts the passive and runs the ultimate instead, which is why you wait for this. You see the number, like the 93,000? That is what you wait for, and from then on you can just click it on auto, and it's going to run your rotation at the highest speed possible. If you have, for example, a triple kill rotation, you can see right here, or you can just play the fight manually. Just know you might have to like drag it a little faster, be a little quicker on it. But yeah, this is kind of why I mentioned it. Like, look at this. We have 152,000, 57,000, 138,000. Like, the damage really, it doesn't make too much of a difference besides Timeless Iona. Yeah. But yeah, Otavia and Thibault. Like, use Otavia or Thibault if you need someone else to use the ultimate off. Or you could even try running Cyrene's ult just to see how it goes. And we'll do one more run. You've seen it is super quick. So let's go in. Let's once more make sure our hand is correct. Let's keep Van Helsing in this time. And just be careful though. If you want Fleeting Bella to work on auto, keep in mind she'll most likely go into Van Helsing in a situation like this. So we'll have to manually this fight. Which means we're gonna once again wait for this eye to pop up, or better set the damage number. And then we just have to speed drag it. And you see, we're gonna lose a bit of time. Even though time slows down and all, we're still gonna be like slightly slower, which might or might not be the make or break, right? And then there we go, we've triggered our ults. This is the fight. And depending on just what you have, you might be slower or faster, right? Like, for example, if I were to try this fight otherwise, we would use Van Helsing. We would take out, let's say, Timeless Iona, and we would have to bring, yeah, let's try Otavia. I mean, let's have a look at the time difference, won't we? Makes me wonder if we can even beat this. This is like pure speculation, pure not advised. But let's check out the difference. Obviously, keep in mind our Timeless Iona is now better geared than our Van Helsing, clearly. And also Van Helsing would require different timings. But I think you're going to be able to just, I mean, you can already see it, right? You can already see like the massive difference between like us completely shredding it or not. Though, yeah, I mean, you get what I mean, right? Timeless Iona, man, she just stupid like that. So, we see each other in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you learned a thing or two. And don't you worry too much about your placements here. Saturday, Sunday is the decider. Peace!